Hi, and welcome to another John over anxiety video. So last video I said I was going to talk about medication and how I broke my bubble. That's not like how I lost my virginity, man. That's just, that's angst talk for how you break your boundaries, as in going places you've never gone before. And I don't mean space, because that would take obviously years and years of training at a high-tech NASA facility, and I simply don't have access to one of those here in Dublin. So I'm simply talking about going places, seeing people, touching things, touching people, and not having panic attacks. But I think this might be a bit long, so I might have to do 2 videos, because I have tried to do this fucking video like 10 times already, and it wouldn't upload. So now I'm recording just directly onto my laptop. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk about some medications, and then probably my next video I'll talk about how to get the fuck out of here, and have good times outdoors, or with your friends, and maybe if you're lucky, with a special someone. And I don't mean me, because apparently no one wants a ginger, but what can you do? Anyway, so less banter, more legalized tranquilizers or something. So so I'll start off, right? When I started having panic attacks, I was 20. I got held up in an armed robbery with lots of guns and screaming and guys with balaclavas on and guns at people's heads and countdowns to being shot. So it was very traumatic. And after that I started having post-traumatic stress, which I've said before. I know I keep saying it's annoying, but I keep saying it. So I went to my GP a while after that, because I started having panic attacks and stuff like that I worked out again. But and the first thing she did was she put me on Prozac, and apparently Prozac's not good. Prozac's not good for panic attacks. It's not really what you should be taking. But anyway, she died, and then I had no GP, so I had to look for a new one, and luckily a new clinic had opened across the street. So before I could go there to get my medical records, and I went back to my old GP. There was another doctor there, and I told him I was changing over and I needed my medical records. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't find them, because we just wrote everything down and we had no computers, and they were like 95 years old, or something, them people." So I had no medical records, and all the shit I was going through was like there was nothing to say I was going there for help, and so it was annoying. Anyway, so my new GP I found in this new medical clinic that had opened, she was like really interested in mental health stuff, and she went to lectures on panic disorder and all that type of thing, so that was great. She was great help. She really, I probably wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't met that GP. So a good GP who understands what you're going through is probably something you really want to look for if panic disorder or anything like this is really stopping you living life, because it's nothing worse than having a shitty doctor. That's a fucking twat. I had one doctor once, in the same clinic. I saw a different doctor tell me to you just need to get over it. But if I could just get over it, I wouldn't be fucking here, would I? Twat. But this other doctor is great. She really helped. But the first thing she did was she took me off the where's this hand going? She took me off Prozac. But then I had to go through withdrawals. So I was having withdrawals and I was on Prozac. I had withdrawals from Prozac and I was having panic attacks. So it was quite nasty. She got me to see a cognitive behavioural therapist at the time as well. Well, I didn't really find that very helpful, the cognitive therapy. Well, probably a little bit helpful, but they're supposed to like take you out and stuff. and get you going places. She never did that like that. So I didn't really find it very helpful. I tried hypnotherapy. Well, that was a lot of shit. And I tried all those herbal remedies, and my sister used to buy me all these kind of herbal remedy things from like them herbal shops, and they were didn't work. But you know, sisters do these things, don't they? You know, take this weed from China. But the next thing I did was I took loads of different medications. From a GP, she put me on Xanax and some other stuff. I was on some really weird medication. Well, not weird medication, but weird. The effects it had on me was really weird. Because at the time I was very depressed, you know, I wouldn't go out around with the needle. And this medication I was put on, it just made things 10 times worse. I went in a very dark place when I started taking it. I got very withdrawn, I got even more withdrawn, and I would just stay in my room, wouldn't talk to anyone. I kind of felt like I had no emotions when I was taking it. It kind of sapped the life out of me. And I got very suicidal when I was on this medication. And then I thought I would kill myself all the time when I was on this. Just every second thought was like, oh, just kill yourself. Yeah, some crazy like that, you know. But and I even told my sister and I think I said it to my mother as well. I just said I was going to kill myself because at the time I was just so fed up. But not even that I was fed up, it was just when I was on this medication, I felt it made me want to kill myself. I don't know what it was, but when you took it, you just in your head you just thought, I'll just kill myself, it doesn't matter, because it's no big deal, you know. It felt like the right thing to do at the time, and thankfully I didn't, but I was very close to it back then, and this was like a long time ago now. I was 20 at the time, I think, and I was in a kind of state like that up until I was like 24. That's when I started going back to college, and I was on and off different medications, so that was the worst medication I was on. It had a really extreme effect on me, but I stopped taking that. Obviously, I'm still there. But I did see on the news shortly after I stopped taking it, I forget the name of the medication now, but it was on the news for a lot of people started killing themselves when they were on it, and it had like high suicide rates and stuff from it. Then after that, I was on some other medications like Xanax, I think, was one, and some other one. They didn't really do it, and they just kind of irritated the shit out of my eyes. My eyes were always reefing dry, like really dry and itchy. Then I stopped taking them as well, and nothing was working. And then one day my mother was in hospital getting some new treatment done for multiple sclerosis, and she met some woman in there that was having panic attacks, and started talking about panic attacks, and then she told her about this other drug called Lexapro, and she said how it helped her get over having anxiety attacks. And then so she told me, and then I went to my GP and was like, Sarah, I heard about this new drug. It was new at the time, it's obviously not new now, but it's called Lexapro. I've heard it's good for people with panic attacks. So she put me on it, gave it a go. I think it was like 20 megs or something I started off on. And I just started taking it every day. Just, you know, if you're taking drugs for your anxiety, panic disorder, don't sit in. You know, you need to get out, and you need to just try and break the cycle of staying in and, you know, feeding off your own anxiety, because it's the type of thing that you just think about it constantly. And now you're thinking internally, oh, I feel something, I can feel something happening, like I can't breathe and all this stuff. Like, I know it's not easy, but if you're on medication, it's not gonna just work on its own sitting there. You need to get yourself out, do stuff. But so that's what I did when I started taking the Lexapro. I got on some back to work schemes, so doing training, some stupid training courses. They weren't that great, but I went and done we had FOSS courses here in Ireland, I don't know how in the country it's like for unemployed people, and if you're on disability or anything like that, you can go on these back to work schemes. So that's what I started doing. I was trying to do anyway. Didn't work out great, but I just did that with on medication, and every day I would like just try get on the bus or whatever. It used to be a bit of a nightmare, but I eventually was able to do it. So I miss some days, some days you just go home because you aren't feeling great, but it's just trying to get over the anxiety, which I did do eventually. So if you're on the Lexapro, I'd say stick with it. It really helped me. It took the edge off the anxiety, and eventually it just whittled the anxiety down so much that it kind of eased me into having panic attacks. I didn't. Eventually, they weren't so much of a big deal anymore, and I could kind of go about my daily life without having to think, I'm gonna have a panic attack if I go here. I don't want to go there because I'll have a panic attack. I know I'll have a panic attack if I go somewhere, but what the Lexapro did for me was it helped me just get over my fear of having a panic attack. I don't really think when I'm going somewhere, I'm going to have a panic attack. Although that does happen to me sometimes, but it's not as intense as it was 8 years ago. Yeah, it's 8 years ago. But so that's the medication side of it. And that's the medication that helped me get over it was Lexapro. And so I took that for 2 years maybe, and I'd always lower the dose. I would start off with 20, and then eventually I was just down to like 5 megs. And I always have a packet there in case I do get a bad bout of panic, because that does. What am I doing there? Because that does happen. Sometimes I do get really angsty out of the blue, but I don't take the medication. I just know it's there in case I feel like I'm having a really bad time. I know it's there and I can just start taking them again. But it helped me get back into college. When I was 24, I went back to college, and I was on Lexapro the whole first 2 years of college. So I was very doped up when I was in class. Great. So there's some of the medications I took, and the one that worked for me, Lexapro, so they give it a thumbs up. Xanax, it just hurt my eyes. The Prozac was bad. That's a no, don't do Prozac. And the ones that make you want to kill yourself, just stop taking them, because obviously you don't want to kill yourself. And if you do, maybe it's your medication. So that's that. Maybe in the next video I'm going to talk about getting out and doing stuff, because this has gone on for over 10 minutes now. So that was probably just a big ramble. I don't know if it made any sense, but if it did, tough, good. Goodbye.